Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Bagels and Business. This is a monthly series that RIoT puts on to help entrepreneurs and people who are in the business community grow and scale. Today, we are talking about go-to-market strategies. We have some folks joining us online and some folks in the room. So this is informal and interactive. I'll be asking you all questions. Feel free to interrupt me at any time to ask questions, especially those of you who are joining us online. The PowerPoint is behind me, so I'm looking at the camera. So flag me down, interrupt, do something to get my attention if I'm not answering you, and all that good stuff. So to kick us off, just a little bit about RIoT. We are an economic development nonprofit that is focused on job creation in the technology sector broadly, helping tech businesses and tech adjacent businesses grow and scale. We run two sides of our business. One side, we run an IoT and technology consortium of about 90 corporate partners who are all looking to grow and scale their businesses. And we primarily do that through events and meetings like this that give them the opportunity to talk and interact. And we have a bunch of virtual lunch and learns, in-person events. So check out our meetup groups and our website for those kinds of things. We also run a business foundations and startup accelerator program. Both of those happen various times throughout the year, and so we're currently accepting applications for our accelerator program through July 7th to join our fall cohort. Our philosophy is that every business is a technology business. It's the 21st century. We're all using technology in our business in some capacity. Gone are the days of just using technology to support, but really now technology is integrated into everything we do. And so how do we help that grow businesses, help those businesses that are developing those technologies grow, and those who are utilizing it grow as well. So before we begin today, could we please go around in the room? We'll start here in the room and then we'll jump over online to have you introduce yourselves, what you do, why you're here, all that good stuff. Try to keep it to 60 seconds and then we can move on from there. So I'll start with Christina.
Well, good morning. My name is Christina Hudson. I'm an owner of functional fitness training, and one of the things that I hope to gain from a lot of the series is just connections, more resource information, materials. Every time I sit in a class, I absorb a lot of information. So I'm glad to be here. Right now, I'm just a fitness coach and trying to expand that business to open up a fitness studio. So, thank you.
I'm Thad Humphreys. I'm a software developer with MindGraph, which is a document management company located in Warrenton, Virginia. I have been there about 25 years, and we produce products that manage tens of millions to hundreds of millions of pages electronically.
I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Jen Morgan. For those of you who don't know me, I run RIoT's operations in Front Virginia and across, you'll see me in a variety of different places. But happy to talk more with anybody who's here or online about business development in general, and particularly if you're in the smart cities, smart community space, I have our knowledge around that as well. Now I'll toss it over to Tom online to introduce himself as well.
Hey everyone, I'm Tom Snyder. I'm the founder of RIoT and really glad to be here. I apologize, I did need to leave a little bit early today. I'm speaking at a conference this morning. Yeah, if anyone is welcome to reach out to me, Jen can connect you, or I'm at tom@riot.org if you have any questions. But we're really here to support the business community and glad to have you joining us.
Thank you. Richard, do you want to kick us off online?
Can you hear me okay, or?
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
Hi, my name is Rich Matthew. I'm over in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a RF millimeter wave engineer, and I'm starting to get into some consulting. So I'm just here to get some information and how to go about this, get started and so forth.
Awesome, thank you. Dan. Dan, we cannot hear you. We'll circle back. How about Demir? And please excuse me if I mispronounced that.
Can you see me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so my name is Demir. I'm a student at Catawba College. I'm double majored in computer science and economics and finance. I started my journey in consulting in Michael Best Autonomous Insights down in Raleigh, and working primarily with things like drones, artificial intelligence, and I think Internet of Things is a big thing nowadays. So I'm looking forward to create new relationships and learn new things in this series. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Gary. Gary, we'll come back to you. Jim.
Hi, I'm Jim Sarso. I'm actually coming in today from Kansas City, Missouri. I've been a US Ignite partner with RIoT, and done a couple different challenges and things, and was just kind of curious about the go-to-market strategies. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs in the Kansas City market, and we don't have a lot of great resources, I think, on that in particular. So,
Cool, awesome, welcome. Joseph.
Hello, everyone. I'm based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. I work for Splunk as a technical marketing engineer. So I was just curious to see what the session is about and learn.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Kyle.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Kyle Snyder here, working with Demir at Michael Best Consulting. Just making sure that we've got the latest and greatest trends, and just kind of looking for any other tips as we support companies here in the autonomous systems industry with their go-to-market strategies. This is 100% of the things we're looking at, so just want to make sure I'm up to date.
Wonderful. Vineet.
Hi, this is Vineet. I work with NetApp. I'm based out of the Durham area. Just interested to know more about go-to-market strategies.
Awesome. And finally, your call, please excuse me if I mispronounce.
Oh, you're fine, Jen. Yeah, my name is Yogal Mengistu. I am a co-founder of a startup called Sparta X. We focus on AI and automation, and we're just at a stage where we kind of want to learn about go-to-market and just learn the best way to kind of go out there and get customers and actually market ourselves. So looking forward to the session.
Wonderful. And then back to Dan, let's see if we can.
Excuse me, can I interrupt? Can you, the previous person, can you please, about the AI startup, can you please say the name one more time, please?
Sure, yeah. The name of the startup is Sparta X. When we're just starting out, we built our product, but we're still kind of running a marketing campaign. So I'm hoping this session will shed a light on how to get the best out of marketing and really how to go into the market and get the customers that really need our product.
Oh. Dan or Gary, you want to try to unmute? Dan's calling in. Okay, well, we'll get you at the end, or you guys feel free to drop in the chat. But thank you all so much for being here today. We're discussing go-to-market strategies. As all of you know, every business is looking to attract customers and therefore needs a go-to-market strategy. Whether you're a new business looking to launch or an established business adding new products, or just trying to update your plan as you continue to grow and scale, go-to-market strategies are vital for that. But what are those key components? What do you need to think about as you're developing out that strategy? The first step in any business is identifying what problem your business is solving and for who, AKA your customers. It's really important here to emphasize that your business is solving your customer's problem. If you're not solving someone else's problem, they're not going to buy your solution. Starting at determining that problem solution fit, AKA evidence that somebody else's problem is big enough for a business to actually solve it, is the first step in all of this. This is something that you should keep in mind no matter the stage of your business, from ideation all the way through years and years and years in business. Is it constantly solving your customers' problems? Your go-to-market strategy should be a handy roadmap that measures the viability of your solution success and predicts its performance based on this market research, prior examples, competitive data, all that good stuff. Ultimately, you want to create a plan that sets the product apart from the competition and generates leads and customer retention. So where do you start? The go-to-market process begins with identifying who your customers are, who you're trying to sell to, what are the demographics, the habits, the psychology behind them. Ultimately, you're defining their problem in this very first step. As you identify who your customers are, and some things to consider here are, is this product being sold to consumers, B2C, or to other businesses, B2B? Will you use the demographics, psychology, other types of segmentation in your target markets? What are the pain points of that target market? What problems are you trying to solve with your product? Step 2 in all of this is defining your product's value proposition. It's the benefit that it provides to your consumers and the problems that it solves. In other words, why your target market should purchase your product. As you're preparing your go-to-market strategy, you should have a clear definition of what your unique value proposition is, and that's how you'll direct your marketing efforts to your consumers. To define your product's value proposition, key things to answer, pain points again, how does your product stand out from your competitors? What kind of unique features are you providing? All those kinds of things. And then ultimately that comes down to summarizing in a single statement. I think here it's important to emphasize that there's tons and tons and tons of products on the market of all the same things. There's tons of different shoes on the market, but what makes Nike unique versus Adidas? Why would you buy Nike or Adidas versus Walmart? What's Walmart's difference between Target? All of those different things are habits and unique things around those kinds of consumers that those companies are targeting. It's a very different target market between buying your shoes at Walmart every day and buying Yeezys. Very different. And feel free to ask questions and stop me along the way. Welcome. Also important in that initial go-to-market strategy is defining your pricing strategy. Price is important, and it's an important factor in how you're going to market your product and who you're going to market to. You don't want to sell it for too little or too much. As you start to understand who your target market is, and the value that your product brings to them and offers to them, you'll have a better understanding of what your consumer might be willing to pay. Again, to the Walmart Yeezy example, I'm going to buy a lot more shoes at Walmart than I'm going to buy Yeezys in my lifetime. But that's me, and that's the difference between targeting me as a customer versus somebody else. As you consider your pricing strategy, asking yourself, asking your customers, how much does it cost to manufacture your product? What kinds of things do you need to consider in terms of overhead costs, in terms of marketing costs? All those things go into the total final sale price of the product. What kind of pricing strategy do you need to meet to make a profit? How much profit are you trying to drive? If it only costs you $5 to make a pair of shoes, but you're trying to sell them for 50 to get that big profit margin, is that really going to work in your target market? How much do your competitors charge for similar product or service? Knowing who they are and where they are and what kinds of people they're marketing to is also important. How much is your target market, your customers willing to pay? In that initial customer discovery process, asking your potential customers, your early adopters, your folks in that target market, what are your current buying habits around this? Is this something that you're willing to shift? Like all of those kinds of things are important key factors. If you're doing some sort of services-based thing, will you use a subscription service or a transactional mode? Are you going to charge like a membership fee, or is it per time of use? What does that look like in terms of how many customers do you need overall in your to be successful? A good price ultimately is one that fits your business objectives, matches your customer profiles, and makes you competitive in the marketplace. Defining that promotion strategy. Your promotion strategy is your action plan to promote your product to your target customers. Here, you should be crafting that marketing plan that outlines exactly how you will reach your customer base. The techniques you use to promote your product will depend entirely on the product or service you're selling. For instance, while one business might use a sales team to pitch their products to other businesses, another might instead focus on social media marketing to raise brand awareness and draw in potential customers organically. As you create this promotion strategy, questions to consider are like, what are the best channels to reach your target audience? Is it online or offline? Do your customers respond better to outbound marketing methods such as phone calls or radio advertisements, or inbound marketing such as social media trafficking, SEO management, that sort of thing? Ultimately, here in the marketing section, you're defining where your target market spends the majority of their time. What marketing channels penetrate that space? If you know that your target market is all hanging out in a park downtown all the time, and they're all reading books, probably not doing websites or social media should be your first priority, but going in person and interacting with them and talking to them is the key here. Marketing methods can also help you realistically define out your budget, like how much money are you actually able to spend on marketing in terms of your overall pricing strategy, revenue, all things to consider. There's a ton of free resources out there that you can use off the bat to get you started in the marketing side of things. Websites most of the time have minimal hosting fees. Social media, you don't have to do paid advertising on there. There's tons of ways to do it for free. Newsletters using things like HubSpot or MailChimp, they have a ton of like up to a certain amount of free things, emails, all that good stuff. Can help you really think through where does this all work out. I really like this graphic because, as most of us know, there are a ton of social media platforms out there. But thinking about, okay, if my target market is X, where do they fall in the demographics, the purpose, the overall content of each of these types of platforms? It is a very different target market for those who are using LinkedIn versus TikTok, and very different types of businesses that are marketing on LinkedIn versus TikTok. What are you doing? Like what type of business are you working towards? Where are the folks that are your customers interacting with other types of businesses similar to yours? Tom, is there any verbal comments you want to add? The folks in the room aren't seeing your written comments.
Yeah, I was just making a note in the chat, and I didn't mean to be distracting to what Jen was putting in, but one of the things that I think is important just to remember in this whole arena of go-to-market strategy is go-to-market is not market validation. Market validation is when you're going out kind of with your initial product offering, your initial service, whatever the case might be, and finding those first customers that actually will pay you for what you're doing. That, you know, that is the validation, if you will. The validation is finding that you have a solution that is solving a problem that's important enough that somebody will pay you for it. And you may have a lot of the questions Jen just talked about. You're not really sure exactly what the business model is. You're not sure exactly what the pricing should be. There are things that you're still figuring out during that validation phase. Go to market is really about once you have done some validation work and you're starting to see some common trends from those early customers. Maybe some of your early customers are starting to buy from you a second time, or people are starting to come to you looking for your solution. So you're starting to get like some inbound interest versus all of your effort being outbound looking for customers. Once you start to see those changes, then go to market is really about scaling on that validated solution. And I just bring that distinction forward just because these different aspects, like the social media decisions that Jen's talking about, you know, you'll have a marketing strategy you develop, you'll have a sales process that you want to be a repeatable process. All those things are part of this go-to-market strategy. How do you scale? If you're scaling on something prior to validation, you might be investing in scaling with the wrong message or the wrong process or the wrong business model. So I just wanted to bring that distinction forward since I heard several of the folks talking about being kind of early on and getting your first customers. That's great. A lot of what Jen's talking about can be part of that experimentation. But just, you know, if you get into a point where you're speaking with investors, you're speaking with others who have been in this world for a while, when they hear this term go to market, they're going to be thinking you've already done some validation and now you're scaling. So that was really just the distinction that I wanted to make. Any questions about that?
Awesome, thank you.
Cool. Yeah, thanks a lot. And I apologize, I need to step out early, but I'll drop my email in the chat. If anybody has questions for me, you can reach me, you know, through Jen or directly. But thanks again for being here, and I'll see you all at the next bagel meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
And if anyone is near Wilson, North Carolina and is not attending the GIGI Summit today, check it out and we can definitely get you those details. It's going to be a pretty cool event, and Tom's speaking most of the day. So. But anyways, I think the other thing, and Christina, I'm going to pick on you slightly here. With your, like, Christina's working on franchising this fitness company, and in these go-to-market strategies, especially for, you know, a market that one, gyms are everywhere, they're not, this isn't like a unique thing in this area. But your business, like the type of gym you're putting in, is unique. But they also have their own marketing strategies and their own things that you're going to use to help build out your go-to-market strategy. Audience demographics still play a big role here, like who are the people who live here, what kinds of money do they have in terms of extra income to be able to spend on gym memberships, all of those things. Thinking through, even if this is something that isn't new or unique in whatever market that you're bringing this product or service into, what is your unique side of it? And then how is that going to appeal to the target customers in that area? Metrics, setting your metrics. Your go-to-market strategy is completely dependent on the metrics and goals that you set. Setting those initial goals and then defining the metrics that you'll use to measure the success is key. As this go-to-market strategy goes from idea to reality, it's important to keep track of these kinds of things to make any necessary adjustments along the way. For example, if it turns out that you're paying more to acquire customers than those customers are paying for your product, you need to adjust your strategies. Some common metrics for measuring the success of go-to-market strategies: customer acquisition cost, or the amount of money that your business spends to get a customer to purchase the product or service; the cost per dollar of the sales expense, the total costs, your total costs divided by your total revenue from sales; closing and conversion rates, the number of prospects engaged by your sales team compared to the number of deals won; and then the length of that sales cycle, the number of days or months or whatever it is that on average that it takes to close a deal. Keeping track of all of these things, keeping track of all of the interactions you have, all of the engagements that you have is important. It can be done as simple as an Excel spreadsheet. There's tons and tons and tons of templates out there. You can also use services like HubSpot. They have a lot of free options and free tools available on their free plan. You can pay for it if you'd like as you grow. But knowing who you're engaging with, how you're engaging with them, what does that whole sales process look like, to be able to say, okay, I had 100 interactions this month, and only 6 of them went to deals, but that got me to my monthly break-even point. So cool, that works. Maybe I don't need to have 100 interactions next month, or maybe I do need to have 100 interactions every month to get those 6 deals. Figuring out what works and what doesn't work to be able to best utilize your time is very vital. I love this cartoon. It highlights to me that metrics is only important as the information that you can actually gain from them. If you aren't getting the right information, then you need to reevaluate those metrics. You know, you want to know what you're doing in sales, but if you're tracking something that you think will give you that information, but it doesn't ultimately, what do you need to be tracking instead? So putting it all together, first thing, defining who are your customers. What is your value proposition? What's your pricing strategy? What's your promotion strategy? And finally, how will you measure success? There are a ton of templates out there that you can Google to say, go-to-market strategy templates. Trust me, they're everywhere. But you can also keep this as simple as just answering these questions on a piece of paper and iterating as you grow. Always going back to that problem solution statement for your customers. What problem are you solving for them? What makes you unique in that? What do you need to do in terms of price to be able to break even and maybe even profit? And will your customers ultimately pay that price? How are you reaching them? What kinds of marketing techniques are you using? And then how are you measuring all of this at the end of the day? Questions, comments, concerns? Anybody want to dive into their business or talk about what they're doing?
I think I have a question. I know how, so it makes sense when you have a customer base, you know, and it's in my situation based on like local community, members of the local community. But when you look at B2B, I don't know if it's similar to the same because I have so much of like social media platform kind of locked in, even LinkedIn. And I guess to a certain extent, it would make sense to LinkedIn if you're targeting other businesses and stuff. But is there something that is more specific or alludes more to B2B communities when it comes to, or are they basically they mirror just the same?
I think the B2B side of things, looking at it from how is this business going to use my product, and think of them as the customer. You know, what problem is this product or service solving for that business? How is that unique. What kinds of, what are they willing to pay for it? I think, if you look at, looking at any kind of like project management software out there, right? There's Asana, there's Monday, there's Notion, there's, your basic template or Word docs, whatever that looks like. If I'm trying to market to a business for a project management strategy, what do they need? Like, what are they doing day in and day out? What are they looking at? Are they looking at things that are more creative? Do they need more flexibility? Is it very structured and just tasks listed? How do those things work for them? If you're thinking, specifically into like the fitness side of things, are you selling employee benefit packages to them to say like, hey, if you have 10 employees sign up, we will give them all a discount or something like that? Like, what do those kinds of things look like? You're selling to the whole business, not just each individual person within it.
Yeah. So my thought was the in-body scan is a unit that a member would stand on when it takes their body composition analysis. And I know that a lot of the fitness studios, a lot of the boutique fitness studios, they actually do have a lot of these challenges that, before and after, let's go and body transformation things. So I was thinking about selling a product, which is a service really, to that business, support of their company or their membership base.
Right.
And I'm thinking like looking through, and I didn't write down all of them, of course, but the promotion strategy and all the different ways to reach them, I think in person probably would be the best way, and communication, because it would be like starting like some of that market validation. I would have to do that first, obviously, before this, as it was mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and I think that going in-person events where businesses are interacting, like networking things, chamber events, thinking through LinkedIn, posting on LinkedIn, in terms of social media, even, I think even in your normal, social media marketing to try to reach, people to join the gym, to say well, yeah, if your company does this as well, then, you can get X off your membership or something like that. Who are the individuals who are coming as well? Because that's back to the buyer user side of things, they're the users, but the buyer is the business in the case. Other questions, comments? Okay. So what's next? As I mentioned at the beginning, RIoT runs a free 12-week startup accelerator program that has a cohort happening this fall. If you are in the Wilson, North Carolina area, you can see some of our previous startups pitched today at the Geeky Summit, and then we're currently running a cohort in Cary, North Carolina. This cohort will be technically based out of Stafford, Virginia, but we accept companies from all over the world, and we'll try to work with you on the in-person versus virtual if you are not able to be here in person. This is a program designed to help startups, especially those who are in the technology sector or technology adjacent sectors, grow and scale. Our applications are due on July 7th, and the program will start at the end of August and run for 12 weeks. Happy to answer any questions that anyone has initially about the accelerator, or feel free to shoot me an email and we can dive deeper into if it's a good fit for you and your business. Okay. That's it for today. Thank you all so much for attending Bagels and Business. Our next class will be in August. We are taking July off. Check out our events on our meetup page. That's where you'll also find Bagels and Business registration. If you are attending virtually, this is posted on all the meetup groups at the virtual event, in person here in Virginia and virtually. So I will see you all again in August. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have a great day.
I have a question before we leave.
Yeah.
Can you please send the list of people who attended this meeting?
Yeah, I will shoot you an email and we can talk about that from there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, have a great day, everyone. Thanks.